Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Chat with Shelly for May. We will get started.
Start watching.
Today's agenda, we're going to discuss dining, updates on projects, the 2024 first quarter finances, the resident satisfaction survey. We'll answer any questions and comments, and then I have giveaway with a question mark. So more to come on that. So first up is Vivian.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, we got lots of photos. Boy, did we have a busy April. Starting at the top left there, that's a photo of one of our cooks. What we do is we bring out the food for the day or for dinner. And we sit there with the servers and the supervisors, and the manager goes over all the items that we are serving for that night. And the servers get to taste the food themselves, so they'll be able to describe it to all of you. Then we have Esau and Josue and Natalie and Lorena right under the umbrella. They are getting ready to do the April 16th event that we had for our Human Good Resident Council. And there's Chef Dave. With all our team in the background, we did, Anne and Dave did a presentation for hospitality training. We went up and had a training done, and then we came back and met with the team and did the training. And that is still work in progress. It's something that we continue on a daily basis. Bottom left corner, if you all remember Sacramento, for those of you that were here, he came and helped us for the April 16th event. And then we have Brandon, our server, out there at the bar. And then we have our lovely lamb chops that we had for Lola Lund. And there's our dessert right next to it. And then the lovely table set up for Lola Lund. Hope you all had a great evening at Lola Lund. That was fun. And then going to the bottom left, we've got our Passover Seder dinner, which was on the 29th. And then that's the plate for the Passover. And we have some Earth Day photo here. And we've got Bill and Mona Whiteman getting ready to dance the night away at happy hour for Earth Day there. They're all dressed up in flower power evening. And then we've got some of our setups there that we did for Passover and the April 16th event. And there's Chef Dave with, I see here the fellers, and I've got, I think, Patterson. We'd had the chef table in April. I hope you all get an opportunity when that comes up. It's usually quarterly to sign up for it. So we are doing that now for 6 people, and the assisted living residents get to also chip in and be part of the drawing. So as you can see, we were super busy in April, but May is not slow either. So here's all the events that are coming up in May. We just had our newcomers luncheon today. I hope some of you got to do the Kentucky Derby hats today with Pat. I saw some really nice hats going around in the community. That event will be on May 4th, right here, the Ocean View Lounge and in the bar area. We have Cinco de Mayo also on May 5th, and that's going to be outdoor here in the barbecue patio. And that's going to be, I believe, at 4:45 to 6:30, correct, Anne? Yes, I got a thumbs up from Anne there. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Pat. Pat just mentioned the mariachi band will be here, but they play from 5:30 to 7:30. So please Make sure you're staying to enjoy the entertainment on Cinco de Mayo. Yes. It is on a Friday, so sorry if the 3rd. Thank you for that. I was corrected. It's May 3rd, a Friday. We're doing it the day before because there are a lot of events also in the community on May 4th, which is a Saturday. And then we have Mother's Day champagne brunch. Please make sure we're doing reservations for that, and you could do that through Cubigo. That will be from 11:30 to 1, and we are definitely welcoming guests, your family. And then we have Teaching Kitchen, more on May 15th, and we'll get more information out on that. We have our candlelight dinner, May 22nd, in assisted living. We have our birthday lunch, May 23rd. Another champagne brunch on May 26th. And I hope you're all coming down and enjoying the reception before our brunch at 11 o'clock. So that's out here also right in front of the bar. And then Memorial Day, May 27th, and that's going to be outdoors as well. More information to come on that and reservations. Do we do reservations for that, Ann, or is that first come, first serve? That will be first come, first serve, so get your tables out there. And then we have our heirloom recipe. We're bringing that back. That's on May 29th, and we usually have that available at lunchtime. And then, sorry, we had canceled the coffee chat for the month of April because Chef Dave is out on vacation. So we will have that on May 31st, and we'll put out some flyers and put it on Cubigo at 9 a.m. in the bistro. Please, we highly encourage you coming and joining us for that. Of course, I think you're all ready to find out what the ice cream of the month is. Mocha almond fudge. That's a popular one. And superfood of the month is leafy greens. Enjoy that at the salad bar. And then I will put out also my monthly calendar for the month of May. You'll be seeing that around. We'll put it right there by the bar, right next to the water's edge, and up by the mailboxes as well. An extra for anybody who wants to grab one. All right. Well, that's all I have. Thank you. There you are.
Thank you, Vivian. Busy months here for the dining team, so thank you to them for all they've done. Okay, up next. It's not forwarding. Did Luis leave me? Okay, all right. I got it, Luis, sorry. All right, dining points. So I know some of you have been wondering what we can do to use your dining points a little more effectively. And some of you are saying that you don't enjoy drinking, so the wine option doesn't apply to you. You wanted a way to use your points. So we've listened, and this is what we've come up with. So effective tomorrow, May 3rd, we're doubling the amount of points that you can use for the guest meals. It was at 58.5. It will now go up to 117. So you are able to use more guest meals on your point system. And then we'll continue to evaluate that program and look at it in about 3 months. And if possible, we will add more meals to your dining point system, more guest meals. So any questions on that? Nothing. Quiet bunch today. All right. Up next, this is a popular topic on campus right now, memory support deck. So that's currently what it looks like. Many of you have come to me. I hear you. I want to make sure that you are all understanding that I've heard you. So initially, we had planned for panels to be put in. The panels came in and they were not what we had ordered, very large holes. And then residents said, wait a second, I thought you were going to have all glass. So all glass, if you think about it, in a memory support area may not preserve the dignity of everyone in memory support. Sometimes residents in those areas just do things that they wouldn't have done prior to the diagnoses. So all glass, clear glass panels were not an option. Then someone mentioned, well, why don't we look at one-sided glass panels where the residents in memory support can see out, but no one can see in? So we've taken that idea to to the whole team. There's several people on the team. The architect yesterday when we met said, the city has strict codes on glass panels if it's not a window or a door, but I will try. So then we kind of talked about what that would look like. Of course, we don't want mirrored panels. We don't want reflections into the apartments on the other side of the wall there. We looked at designs. We looked at maybe different slats of panels. Of course, we have to take safety into account for everything that we do. So I want to kind of open this up to conversations. Now, again, nothing is set in stone. We are going to install 2 of the original panels, not next week, but the week after, to see what we can do with those. Maybe there's a way that we could use those panels, but yet protect the privacy of those residents and prohibit others from looking in. So when you see the 2 panels going up, don't assume that that is what the whole look will be like. We're just going to do it to see what we can make of that. We're still exploring the glass panels, the one-sided view of glass panels. But I would like any comments. I know some of you in your opinions, I'm looking at a few that I know exactly where you stand, so you don't need to relay your message to me, but anyone that hasn't talked to me, Vicki.
Those kind of things, and it obscures the view, so would let in the light for the memory room. If you have those solid panels up, it's really a cave rather than letting them have an open patio.
So let me repeat that before I forget all of that. So Vicki is saying there are glass panels with designs such as raindrops or different things that will still allow residents to see out. One thing we do need to consider is airflow, because that area is really kind of tucked away. There's not a lot of airflow as it is. So we would have to really think about the gaps of those panels. Will it allow enough airflow on the panels on both sides, possibly even underneath just a tiny bit? So thank you for that input. Mary.
Fabric panels, maybe even studied strips.
Fabric paneled studied strips. My concern would be safety, and if someone was able to push through that or get through that in some way, it has to be absolutely secure. Bev.
What about a wheelchair high wooden panel? And then above that, from eyesight up the glass.
Wheelchair height wooden panel, and then above that glass. So we talked about that as well. We talked about having two different fabrics or 2 different materials. The architect didn't feel that that was the safest either. So the preference is to have all one complete sheet of glass, one complete panel. The security of the 2 different panels was in question per the architect. Kathy.
They smoke kind of glass that they could see through, but some kind of a tint so that it would help the sun and provide a little bit of privacy.
What about a smoked glass so that will protect from the sun and provide privacy, right? That's what we're looking at currently, as some sort of a private glass panel where residents can see out, but no one can see in, and protect from the sun. We're also looking at, decor and what do we do with the space? Is it a sail? Is it umbrellas? Is it lighting? Is it what type of furnishings go into that space? So we're kind of on hold right now. We're in the stage where we're still figuring out options. Wendy,
Material of the tent.
it's a metal material, but it's not so, it's not something that it would get super hot where they would burn their hands. It's more of a, I don't know how to even explain it. I should have brought powder coated panel. There were several designs. We picked a design that we all thought was lovely we've had dementia experts on our panel. We've had members of the construction team. We've had the contractors. We've had the White Sands team as well. Who knew the memory care deck would be such a point of consideration? I mean, we were just so excited to get the funds. This has really been in the work for about 5 years now. Maybe they could be perforated. That's an idea. That's an idea. Kathy,
Very tall.
they're 8 feet. So there's codes. There's a lot of codes. That's probably the thing I've learned most in this role are all of the construction codes and all of the red tape you have to go through those. So those are 8 feet high, has to be that high. Mhm. Any other comments on the memory care deck? Vicky?
It's a very small area.
It
Not
is.
everybody's gonna see it. Needs to look good from the apartments that are looking at it.
Correct.
If you have solid things there, it makes it even smaller and more tight. We don't have a lot of open spaces, but it really needs to have an open field look to it, whatever it is.
So Vicky is saying it is a small space that needs to look good from the exterior looking in, and it needs to have an open feel because it's not a very large space. Louise, I don't know if you can help me to see if there's any comments in the chat as well. I can't see those. Louvers, yes, louvers have been brought up as an option as well. Again, cleaning is something also that we need to consider. It would let the light and the air in louvers. Jack has a question. And it could block the sun in the afternoon. Yep. Jack has a question. We're trying to unmute you, Jack.
It's Carol.
What's Carol? Go ahead, Carol.
Hi. I don't know if anybody's familiar with a product called
Hold on,
glass.
Carol. We can't hear you. 1 second.
Now, can you hear me?
Louise, you ready? Try it now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Is anyone familiar with a product called glass wallpaper? I
Glass
have
wallpaper, which is like a film, a decorative film.
a film that you put on the glass. It can be there are many, many, many patterns. I have an opaque on my windows here, but they have flowers, they have trees, they have contemporary designs, they have all sorts of things to where you have opaque and clear superimposed on each other in the design. So it's
Right.
called-
We looked at that as well. We looked at a company called Wallpaper for Windows.
Yes.
It has to be a commercial product because we have to be able to maintain it. It has to withstand weather, cleaning. So again, the architect is looking at some, and the designer are looking at some options for that as well, if that's what we choose to go with. But yes, we have considered that option as well.
2 fans to put on the bottom of it. What are the plans for that?
2 fans are put underneath the deck. What are the plans for that? So we haven't fully decided what we'll do under there. We might use it for art projects. We might have a sitting area. It might just be a versatile area that we can use for whatever we need it to. I like the space underneath. I don't know if you've all had a chance to see it, but it came out better than I was expecting. So we will use this space. It will probably just be versatile for whatever we need it for. Okay. We'll move ahead. Luis. Thank you for the input, by the way. Okay, so update on our projects. Lorena's out today, so whoops. Luis? Sorry. What would we do without Luis? Okay, memory support deck. It's 95% complete. The perimeter panels and the automatic door hardware are outstanding. And as I just mentioned, we're still determining what those perimeter panels will be. The automatic door hardware is just something that we need to install yet. Solar, we're waiting on confirmation from SDG&E on our cutover date. However, we proposed May 22nd or 23rd. So the remainder of the roof tile will begin in late May, and then the bird deterrent will follow. So well, as soon as we have a date, we'll give you all a heads up on that. It may be where the west campus, south side of the bridge is without power, and it could be up to 6 hours. So we will let you know more when we know more. I heard of another campus, they were only out for a couple of hours. And talking with our team yesterday, they proposed that they really expected it only to be a couple of hours as well, but we want to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So in that case, we are looking at alternate dining options. We may bring in a food truck or have a barbecue or some sort of things like that, because it will completely shut down the kitchen. Again, south of the bridge, west campus only. Betsy.
The bird deterrent.
Bird deterrent are the wires and the spokes. Yeah. Okay, that's solar. Sewing room, the cabinets are currently being installed. The countertops will be installed next week, and the expected completion is at the end of May. Thank you to those that have been working hard on that project. Art room refresh is expected to be completed on the 15th, and then the furnishings I know are coming later in the month, so hopefully we can open by the end of the month. And again, thank you to those involved in that project as well. Health center shower room. So we began this project on March 4th, hoping for an 8-week turnaround. It hasn't quite worked out that way. We are now expecting it to be done on July 2nd. That's the date that they've given us. Of course, as I mentioned in the past, the health center is highly regulated, so OSHPD is involved in everything that we do up in that area. We had a couple of snags, but it is still in process. So more to come on that. We did purchase the new mobility van. It's on site and in use. Spectrum, the contract went back and forth about 4 or 5 times, and now it's being finalized with legal, and we'll await the signed contract from Spectrum. And we should have a date of installation within the next couple of weeks, and then installation after that would be 4 to 6 weeks out. Okay, sorry, a question just popped up. Whoops. Yeah. Question was, I thought I heard Vivian say, how do I get that Cinco de Mayo had been moved from Sunday early evening, Friday, May 3rd, early evening. Did I understand that correctly? Cinco de Mayo is still on Sunday in the evening, but the Kentucky Derby event is moved from the 4th until the 3rd. So that's tomorrow. Okay. Yes.
What the new spectrum offering is gonna be.
I know it's 300 channels. There's an option for a DVR, which is significantly less than what we already have. I didn't bring all of the specifics. Lorraine is home. I'm not sure if she's on. I told her to take the day off. She was not feeling well. I can get you more information though. It's more channels, a lower cost for DVR. Yes. Okay. All right, where did I live off? Spectrum assisted living refresh is out for bid. Swimming pool remodel. So we're still in the permitting process we're with the city again. We've completed the mechanical and the historical review. Now we're currently under the electrical review. Once the permitting process has been complete, we'll work with everyone to select the best possible start date for the community. I know some of you had concerns about getting it up and going in the summer. If you want it delayed, we'll delay it. I'm kind of the mindset, let's just get it done while we can get it done, but I want to be sensitive to everyone's input on that as well, so. Elevator repairs, the main small elevator is scheduled for the end of May, as is the clinic elevator. And then elevator 2 and 3 on the East Campus is in the contract process. Enhanced cellular coverage on East Campus, we're waiting on the final scope of the next phase from our vendor, and that's expected to be turned to us next week. Upcoming campus projects are retrofitting the walkway lighting on East Campus, the Water's Edge dining patio and walkway deck coating, the barbecue patio refresh, the beach walkway and retaining wall. Now, some of this will be contingent on when we complete the pool remodel, because we don't want to start a project and then move to the pool, which would disrupt the progress that we made on the beach walkway and the barbecue patio, and certainly the Water's Edge dining patio. That's it for, oh, Lorraine chimed in here. It's 340 channels and DVR at $12.99 a month. Okay. Next, we're moving on to the financial overview for the first quarter of 2024. So if you hear nothing else about the financial presentation I'm about to give, just know that we're doing pretty good. Question. What is the cost of the Spectrum DVR? I don't know. Does anyone here have the Spectrum DVR currently? Vicki?
We're paying for regular spectrum, I don't know what it is. $12.99 for our DVR.
Oh, it's $12.99 right now. Oh, I thought it was significantly more.
We're paying $140 a month for spectrum.
It's so you have to have a specific package for TV service, so a specific like lineup of channels, as well as having the DVR device in your apartment as well.
I see. So you have to have a specific package with the DVR device in your apartment. Okay.
So
Fran.
you'll see on your bill.
I paid $243
Ooh.
a month.
Fran pays $243 a month. Fran is going to be happy to get the new Spectrum account. It'll be a big savings for Fran. Okay. This is just the overall operating revenue. We're better than budget by over $500,000. Total employee costs were better than budget by $119,000. Non-wage expenses, we missed the mark by $250,000, just under. So our operating margin year to date, we are better than budget by $445,000. We have not met our net cash turnover entrance fees. We're behind the mark by $1.2 million in that area. Any idea why we would be behind the mark? Nothing to sell. Anita got it right. When you don't have anything to sell, you can't bring in the entrance fees. Thus, the net cash production is also behind by $771,000. So comments on the bottom state, operating margin outperformed budget by $445,000 year to date, primarily due to favorable occupancy in assisted living and memory support, favorable net revenue in residential living, and favorable home care net margin and favorable health benefits for our team members. What happened? Oh, okay. Cash sources and uses. So cash flow is really the operating margin, the net entrance fees, and then any investment income. Cash outflow are capital projects like we just talked about, any interest expense, and then any debt principal. When you combine operating margin and net entrance fees, and you add that to the operating margin, that equals the net cash production. Net cash production is used to measure the financial health of our communities. It's the primary cash source generated by our communities. So if you look at the highlighted area there, this talks about operating revenue. So in looking at the bottom, residential occupancy, we have not made budget in that area. We're at 93.8% is our actual versus our budget of 94.9%. Assisted living, we're better than budget by about 5%. Memory support, we're better than budget for the first quarter. A difference of 88% over 80%, which is budgeted. But as of today, we're at 100%, both in assisted living and memory support. Health center occupancy is down slightly for the first quarter, 89.6% versus the actual of versus the budget of 90.8%. These are the trends. So the line at the top is the budgeted total. So for residential living, we're budgeted at 94.9% occupancy. And the blue line at the bottom is the totals for January, February, and March. As of today, I believe we have one studio. Kudos to Michelle Forbes in the back who just gave me the number one. If anyone knows someone, White Sands has one studio to sell. Michelle would be happy to sell it to them. We would like one day of just full occupancy. Assisted living, you'll notice that the blue line at the top is our actual numbers. The orange line at the bottom is the budget. So we're better than budget there. Memory support, the blue line is the actual and the orange is the budget again. We are at 100% today. Health center, again, you can see the budget, which is the orange line, which is 90.8%. We are less than budget in that area. Okay, the next highlighted area is total team member cost. So here you'll notice one thing that we're measured on is the salary expense as the percent of total operating revenue. So we have a green, which means good in that area. We're at 41.2% operating revenue, which accounts for salary expense versus the budget of 45.9%. Overtime does continue to be an area of focus. However, we're trending in the right direction in that. Unfavorable variances in overtime are offset by favorable variances in regular salaries and health benefits for our team members. The next highlighted area is non-wage expenses, which were over budget by $225,000. Why, you may ask? I'll tell you. It's because the primary drivers on that are we're behind budget in utilities, specifically electricity. So it will be great to see the progress that we made once the solar is ready to go. And then the second reason is because home care costs has high expenses, but yet they generate revenue. So home care alone was over budget by $250,000. However, their net margin is favorable, $34,000. So it's a high cost, but it does add to our revenue. Net cash from turnover entrance fees. So that means any entrance fees coming in, less any rebatable entrance fees going out. And again, we're missing the mark on that by 1.2 million because we don't have anything to sell, which is a good problem. Okay. Any questions on the financials before we move on to the next section? Okay. Resident satisfaction survey, it's time. So the survey process, the soft launch started on April 29th, and that goes until May 5th. The full launch is on May 6th till May 20th. Pat may have already been putting a little bug in everyone's ear to get it done. Do you have any idea how many people have completed it so far, Pat? No idea. Okay. So who can participate? Residents in residential, assisted living, and then our long-term skilled nursing, and then family members in our higher levels of care as well. How you can do it on any device, desktop, laptop, mobile device, but there are not paper surveys. So no paper surveys. That's not an option this year. Where? So the survey can be accessed by a general link, or we will also send an email if we have your email on file. So this is what it will actually look like. You'll receive an email from support@activatedinsights.com, and you will be provided a link. If you don't have a link, you can always use your first name, your last name, plus your unit number. The example down here is John Doe 123, and the survey code is case sensitive. No code is required when accessing the survey through the emailed link. It will automatically take you to your link. Yes, of course, Pat, you can interrupt.
I was just gonna say, this is a general rule of thumb for using the link,
Pat, come and use the mic.
you know.
And if you want to stand here in front of the camera, then our people at home can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So the survey code, the way they have it set up there is a general rule of thumb, but the survey code also may revert to your given name. So if you were given the name of Barbara, but you go by Bobby and you try to put in Bobby, you know, whatever, it's not going to work. So we have copies of survey codes, all the resident champions. So we'll be able to help you. Don't get discouraged if you can't get in doing it this way. I think going through the survey code is easier than trying to find the email that we send to you that might get lost in your email stack of 100 emails that you haven't looked at. But you can do it either way.
Good.
Sorry.
Good point. Thank you, Pat. Okay, then again, survey access. So the team member survey champions can assist you. Family members will get an invite as well. Family members will not need a survey code. It will be emailed directly to them. Okay, is it anonymous? Yes. The responses go directly to Activated Insights, and they'll compile the data for us. The results will be grouped and shared by community. No results are visible for groups with less than 5 responses. So let's say we only had 4 responses from our memory support area. No results would be shared or shown. We really wouldn't get any data on that area. It has to be 5 or more. No one can tie results back to a resident unless they share their name in a comment. And I had many, many pages of comments after the last survey and no names were attached. So you may be wondering, how long will the survey take? It takes 10 to 20 minutes to complete. What if someone doesn't want to answer a question? It says questions are optional. Actually, I would like to chime in and just say, if you do not use a service, such as our laundry services that Maria completes down here in Buildings and Grounds, just leave it blank. If you have no input, if you've never used it, if you can't comment on it, I prefer you just leave it blank. And then, can a resident champion help someone take the survey? Yes. The survey champion may help someone take the survey by helping them access the survey, reading the questions, and helping them enter their responses. What if someone has bad things to say? We want honest feedback, so encourage everyone to share your feedback. It's okay, you can say bad things. Net Promoter Score. We've talked about this last month. I'm just going to give you a quick recap because I want you to know how the scoring counts. So the Net Promoter Score really is based along one question, and that question is the very first question on the survey, and it says, how likely are you to recommend your community to friends or family? The 9s and 10s are considered promoters. 7s and 8s are passive, and then 0 through 6 is a detractor. So scoring that question a 6 is really the same as scoring it a 0. And then to calculate the Net Promoter Score, you take the number of 9s and 10s, and you subtract the number of detractors, or the 0 through 6, and that gives you what's called this Net Promoter Score. What is a Net Promoter Score? You can see the range there. It goes from negative 100 to positive 100. Last year, we scored a 71, so we just squeaked inside that excellent category. So tell us what you think. You know, we do want you to feel confident in your choice to live here, and we want, I'm sorry, I'm losing my focus here. We want you to feel confident in your choice to live here and be a promoter of your community, because that means we are listening to you. As a promoter, you can give candid feedback about what needs to be improved and where your expectations have fallen short. Okay, and we just received the U.S. News and World Report's results from the survey taken last year. White Sands was acknowledged as the best independent living. And we've gotten that one every year, so we're excited for that. White Sands was also acknowledged as the best assisted living, and we've gotten that one every year, and we're excited for that. The new one this year is we also received best memory care. So we are very, very happy about that. Thank you. One thing that people are always concerned with, and one acknowledgement that we always strive to achieve, is the best CCRC. So we did not achieve best CCRC. And in looking at the methodology, which was about 100 pages from the US News and World Report, it shows that they draw these best skilled nursing data from CMS. So you have to be Medicare certified to even make that listing of the best nursing homes in America. So those communities that scored in the top for best nursing homes were qualified for best CCRCs. So we would not even make that listing because we do not have Medicare. However, our marketing team and the team that drives our surveys are reaching out to the US News and World Report to see if they have any intentions of opening that up to communities such as ours that do not have Medicare. So more to come on that. That's the end of the presentation. So I'll open it up for questions. Why do we not have Medicare? So that's the $1 million question. I know at one point we talked about it. We started the process of taking apartments offline to become Medicare. It's extremely labor intense. It is constant inflow of new people. It's heavy therapy. It's a whole different model than what we currently have. Right now we have low acuity, long-term care residents. If we were Medicare based, then it's very high acuity. So it means we have to bring in, you have a lot more staff on board. There's just a lot more expenses related to that. There's much more federal oversight related to that. We've never really had to do that. We always have the business. I know one deterrent is just the volume of people that are coming in and going at a very rapid pace. So, we've just opted not to do that. And I don't think the company has any intentions of doing that. Okay, other questions? Anita? We would also have to retrofit the building. There's certainly costs associated with that as well. Yes, absolutely. Estelle? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that question. You want to hear from a medical person about the behaviors of people in memory care? Deviant behaviors. Deviant behaviors. So that the people above them are going to see. So of course, not everyone with memory issues exhibits any sort of inappropriate behavior. More likely than not, they do not exhibit behaviors, but every now and then we have residents that constantly take off their clothing or just do things that they wouldn't do without the disease. So we want to preserve their dignity and we want to make their environment safe for them. Did I answer your question? You'd like to hear from a professional. Okay. Angela, our dementia expert, will be here in September. Yeah. She can address that question as well. Any other questions for me? Wendy? When is the email going out with the link to the survey? Do you know that answer, Pat? It's going out on Monday. Did I see another hand in this area? No? I don't know who that one is. We're not going to respond to that one. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Hey, I have a question.
Okay, that sounds like Chuck Marsh.
if we have had so few units to sell, is the problem that our turnover fee budget number is too high?
If we have so few units to sell, is a problem that our turnover fee budget is so high? Well, last year we exceeded the budget of net turnover entrance fees by about 6.5 million. So we're just hoping to make budget this year. Maybe Michelle has more to say on that. The refunds, we've had a lot of refunds this year as well. That's part of the reason that we're behind. So when the refunds are sent out, then that affects the entrance fee coming in. So that does affect our net entrance fees. Did that answer your question, Chuck? Okay, any other questions? No, I wanted to take a minute just to talk about giveaways. You know, I started handing out or kind of enticing residents to answer questions just for fun, but I've gotten some feedback that people think I should not be doing that. So I'd like your input on that. Is it something, I'm just trying to have a good time here. So if it's something you don't want me to do, I certainly won't offer gift cards in this meeting, but I'll take input on that. Raise your hand if you don't want me to hand out gift cards in this meeting. Okay, 2 people. Raise your hand if you would like me to hand out gift cards in this meeting. Okay, all right, we'll continue to do it. Thank you. So I had last month talked about recognitions, and I gave each of you a recognition to fill out and put in the slot, and I had 12 people submit recognitions this month. So thank you so much for doing that. As I said last time, it really helps our team members. Everyone wants to feel acknowledged. It improves morale, it improves retention, and it's nice to hear something kind about the work that you do here at White Sands. So I will hand out a gift card. Luis, why don't you just pick one, anyone. And this will be the winner. It is Judy McNeely. Thank you, Judy McNeely, for submitting a recognition form for our team members. I will put the gift card in your mailbox. Okay, I have a couple more to hand out as well. Who can tell me what event is happening here on Sunday? Raise of hands. Bev. Cinco de Mayo. Thank you. Who can tell me what the ice cream of the month is? Vicky. Mocha almond fudge, everyone's favorite. Who can tell me why we're behind on net entrance fee turnovers? Henry, nothing to sell. Who can tell me when the full launch for the resident satisfaction survey begins? What's the date? Aaron, Monday. One more here. Let's see. Sure. So this is for those of you in the chat. Get your typing fingers ready quickly here. We'll go with what is the superfood of the month? Everyone's favorite. No, it's for our people in the chat here.
The Jeopardy music.
Yes, we need the Jeopardy music. Catherine Mills, leafy greens. Yes, everyone's favorite. That's all I have for today, everyone, unless you have further questions for me or comments that you'd like to add. Larry.
We have our elevators out of work.
Yes.
If we could just make a few more signs and put them on every floor.
Okay, will do. And the elevators are out of order. Print a few more signs and put them on every floor. I didn't realize they weren't on every floor. Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that. It'll be there within the hour. Just don't take them down till they're fixed. Yes. Any other questions or comments? Nothing? All right. Thank you, everyone. See you next month.